The Cold War is one of those underappreciated periods of history, partly because it's so recent. It refers to the period after the end of the Second World War until the late 80s, often defined as 1989, the fall of the Berlin Wall, in which you had two superpowers of America and Russia competing against one another for world dominance. It's mostly thought about today in terms of the nuclear connotations, the idea of mutually assured destruction. Yesterday and today I've been at a conference of Cold War heritage sites discussing how we can work together. It's been a really interesting time getting to talk to people who have a similar set of problems to me. It's a slightly difficult thing to think about because the objects would have been very important in the event of nuclear war, but there was no nuclear war, so actually all they did was sit on a shelf waiting to be used. These are objects that in effect have never had a life. The stories are also obviously potentially extremely upsetting. I mean, I have objects in my collection that were recovered from Hiroshima and Nagasaki in the aftermath of the bomb, and when you actually think about them too deeply, it's extremely difficult because you know what happened to the owner of that object, bearing in mind how damaged the object itself is. And how do you make these stories engaging and interesting, but also pleasant and enjoyable for visitors who tend to be coming to heritage sites for leisure and enjoyment purposes, not to be disturbed and scared? There's some wonderful stuff going on in the sector in terms of increasing personal stories through oral history, through new displays, and it's really exciting to see what is happening. Developing technologies are meaning that it's going to be possible to get people visual access into buildings that are too unsafe to enter. That one is from National Trust Orford Nest, so check out their website for more information on that. This was also the launch for the Cold War Network's Heritage Week. This is the first time it's happened. It's the equivalent of Heritage Open Days, if you've come across those before. So Cold War sites around the country are putting on events and tours that are slightly out of the ordinary this weekend and over the following week. So do have a look at the Cold War Network's website in the next day or so in order to see if there's any sites doing anything near you.